How can he go on holidays with an ex and kids? But if I do anything, I get complete paranoia and insecurities. But if I do anything, I get complete. I'm trying to understand 100% of that. He's gonna go on holidays and stuff like that with people because he doesn't care about you and the relationship. So just continue to move forward. ADHD and a narcissist relationship needs more context because that's just words on a page. My husband had an affair after I told him I'm pregnant. We've been married for 7 years now. I went back to the other ex-girlfriend was talking about her 7 years. He has 2 kids, 11 and 14. A lot of times we'll see that where the attention gets taken off the narcissist during pregnancy. And so he goes out and cheats. He's like, well, let me look for a supply somewhere else. How can I convince myself that it's okay to leave when he manipulates and guilt trips me over his health? You won't be able to leave until you change the story you believe. Otherwise, you will stay completely stuck. Check out the link in the bio, escapetoxicity.com. It's a 7-day challenge for $7 to have you start understanding how to break free. Because if you don't actually change the mindset, you will continuously stay stuck or go back to a toxic person over and over and over. Why are empathetic people so attracted to narcissists? Why does our energy feel the same? Sometimes empathetic people are attracted to narcissists because you think you can fix another person, which oftentimes is rooted even in a piece of pride of like, well, I think I can fix this person, or I think I can win at this relationship, when in reality, like, you can't, because it has nothing to do with you being able to control the other person or get them to actually do what you want them to do. Why they want attention from several other women? It's the high of having like a lot of connection with people at the same time. So a lot of times a narcissist will be like texting and interacting with like multiple women because he's looking for that admiration. He's looking for that attention from a lot of people all at the same time. Can a person with NPD have moments of genuine care, love for someone? Define that genuine care, and is it sandwiched between abuse? Like, it's not really going to help the case if it's like, he genuinely loves you, but then he goes out and cheats on you, but then he calls you names. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't matter if we define, well, that moment in a split second over 20 years, you genuinely love me. At the end of the day, abuse is abuse. And we have to look at what's being demonstrated in the relationship, not having a loophole for you to justify staying in toxicity because, oh, he actually loved me one time. Doesn't matter. How is he demonstrating love, care, honesty, respect on a daily basis? After all you're changing, do you love your wife, or is it still a difficult concept for you? It's not necessarily a difficult concept because love as a definition had to be able to change, because love for me was always this piece of like control, manipulation, making sure I was in control of another person. So like the love piece had to completely shift of like me actually looking at someone else instead of just myself. How do you think my ex-narcissist would react to me starting a narcissist knowledge channel? Probably no clue. There's like too many variables there. Like, he could get upset. He could still like block you and not even pay attention. He could start up his own channel and be like, hey, like, you're the narcissist. There's a lot of different things. 7-day challenge, escape toxicity. A lot of that is geared to having you understand narcissism, understand reactive abuse, how to actually start to let go of the guilt and the shame that you feel by being stuck in a toxic relationship for so long, or how it's affected you or how it's affected your kids, and to start to see about the formula that we actually teach of having you break free, walking through the story you tell yourself, which will keep you trapped for too long. He doesn't play an active parental role in our autistic kid's life. Why wouldn't he settle and give me sole custody? Because he wants to look better either to himself or on paper or to another person, that like, I'm still a dad, when he's actually not. How do I stop him from manipulating and controlling our son? He's draining my son mentally. If he's doing it like on his own turf, as far as like y'all are separated, but his son spends time over there's not a ton you can do. You can only work on yourself and have your work on yourself be something that helps lead your son in a positive way on the other side. How do you get out of the cycle? You have to break the cycle. And that's the thing, is most people don't break the cycle. They just like sedate with it. They go into another relationship. They research a bunch about narcissism, but they don't actually change their thought process. They don't actually change the mindset of what's actually going in, dealing with the facts of the situation and changing the story that they believe. So we talk about, that's how we work with people inside the Escape Toxicity Challenge, the 7-day challenge, inside of our Clarity Challenge that specifically targets trauma bonds, and even inside of the Thriver community that we run. Do they usually break restraining orders? A lot of times they do, but you want to still get them. That way you can still take it back to court, to the police, and get them thrown in jail. Okay. What's the best professional place to test for NPD? Be a therapist, psychologist. If you're initially like starting off, you can start taking different quizzes just to be able to see, like, if it's you, if it's the other person he's actually interested, like, have them start somewhere, kind of thing. Would a narcissist block me from everything to try to control me? 100%. And he has got control over you, because then in his mind, he can like unblock and come back to you anytime he wants. Okay. If you're at a place where you're like, hey, I want to break free. If you're on Instagram, you can DM me the words break free and we can start a conversation to see if I can help you. If you're on the other platforms, we don't have some of that set up right now, just limited capabilities with what we're doing right now. But excuse me. I like inhaled when I did that at the same time. But you can reach out. You can go to escapetoxicity.com. You can see the challenge has started to transform a lot of people's lives, and just start off, just understand how we teach, how I actually work through helping people move forward in a healthy way. Why would the wife stay knowing there are other women? Oftentimes it's trauma bond and she's not going to leave because mentally and emotionally she's stuck in that relationship till she's able to break out of that. It will not change. Do you have a price list for private conversations? I'm in Germany and need advice. You can message me to start off with, or you can go to rawmotivations.com. There's a couple options there. Are you seeing my question? As I've sent it a few times, would really like to hear your view. If you would have sent it, I would have seen it instead of like asking if I saw it. Now I saw you asking about it and I might miss the second one. Okay. There's like hundreds of questions coming in. I'm trying to do my best. NPD requires a medical diagnosis. Being a narcissist and narcissistic traits aren't the same thing. Congratulations. Okay. But at the end of the day, abuse is abuse. So if the person is walking like a duck, acting like a duck, talking like a duck, we're not giving out diagnosis on this channel, and I'm not giving out diagnosis to anyone I talk to. But if it's abuse, let's call it abuse and let's actually work to get people free. Not say, oh, let's make sure we get a diagnosis first before we actually get free. A lot of people try to go down that route and they stay stuck forever because they're justifying, well, he's not officially diagnosed, so I can't leave. So let's be careful about that. Why does it mean when they say they don't love you anymore and move on to the new supply? What does it mean when they say they don't love you anymore? I mean, part of it is just saying like, hey, they don't really love themselves, you, or anybody. They're just going from person to person. Why did the Hoover after the smear campaign? Just to get back with you to mind screw you. No, that's a really good way to put it. Does financial supply mean nothing to the narcissist? Even though I was good to her, she's still around in socials. Not really. I mean, financial supply is sometimes a big reason why narcissists might be with you, but at the end of the day, they'll do what they want. Abuse is abuse, narcissists are not. 100%, because a lot of times I'll tell people like it doesn't matter about the label. Like you've never heard me on a channel being like, if it's this, if it has to be this, if it has to be this label. Label doesn't freaking matter. What matters is how is this person demonstrating honesty, vulnerability, and consistent change. If that person is not, you don't have a relationship and you're building your life on a facade. You need to leave. You need to start actually getting out. Okay. A lot of countries, psychologists are reluctant to diagnose and there's long waiting lists. 100%. And that's a good way to put it. My 2 cents with that, and this is just my 2 cents, so no one jump on the, you're not official. My 2 cents on that is a lot of people don't want to diagnose narcissistic personality disorder. One, because it's been advertised as being the end all be all. There's no cure. So nobody wants to work with someone that's like dying from that anyways. Okay. That's part of it. The second thing is a lot of times people don't want to diagnose or work with narcissists because there's no money in it. Like, unless you're going to be coming back to the same person over and over, like a psychologist, like long-term, like they can't prescribe you something. They can't actually medicate you for it. They can't actually give you something that they can start having like residual gains off of. So like, as a result, why would they even want to work with a narcissist?